awesome coaches to share some tips and thoughts with you today. We'll first hear from Carly Wood. Carly is a 5-star diamond coach from Charlotte, North Carolina. She's currently ranked 53 in the entire network. She lives with her, her fiance Sean, and their two. Keisha did this. Their two fur babies. I take it that means dogs.
Yes.
Their two puppies, Jay and Nelson. Carly enjoys practicing and teaching yoga, is super outdoorsy, and is also a Spartan race finisher. So Carly, let's see those muscles there. Congratulations to you. Carly is an excellent leader, has proven herself, that has a really good grasp on building team leaders and helping the coaches on her team to hit diamond and team leaders. So we're excited to hear from her. After Carly, you will hear from Nikki Johnson. Nick is a 9-star diamond elite coach. He has previously been elite, ranked number 19 in the entire network. We are so excited and happy for Nikki and excited she can be on. She lives in Ashburn, Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area, with her husband Ben, her two kiddos, Molly and Bert. And what I love about Nikki and her business is she has created one of the most solid and impressive Success Club base. Okay, so her personally sponsored Success Club base, those are her organization, Fulfilling Success Club, each month is impressive. She keeps that high. It's one of the top 20 in the entire network. And she is just a diamond producing team. And so we are excited to hear from her and how she's doing this to help her advance her diamonds, break diamonds, and advance the business. And so all of these things are, of course, vital to making elite status, getting your business in order. We're excited to hear from these guys. So, Carly, we're going to kind of turn the time over to you. When you're done, Nikki, you can step right in.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
We got to unmute you. Hold on, Carly. We got to unmute you.
Okay.
So we'll give you the thumbs up as soon as we're ready. This way we just keep the.
All right, go for it, Carly.
All right, you guys. I'm and honored to be here with you today.
I think you might be muted on your end, babe.
We can't hear you, Carly.
It says I hear. I'm not muted.
I can hear you.
Oh, never mind. I can hear you.
I can hear.
Everyone's good?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, I'm excited to be here with you guys, honored to be here. And what I did was put together 10 tips that I do with my team and that I share with my coaches. And the first one is I really focus with my coaches on building a quality team, meaning I really strongly encourage my coaches not to discount to diamond. It might take them a little bit longer to rank advance, but it means they're building a stronger foundation with their coaches and their downline. Am I good still? Okay. The second thing I do is I engage and I encourage my whole downline. I really use the mantra that everyone matters. And a couple of examples of what I do here is once a month I do one of the following. I either voice message everyone in my downline congratulating them on Success Club, or someone who is rank advanced, or someone who's just killing it with volume. I love that personal message on Facebook now. I just think it makes things so much more personable and so much more fun. I dig down deep into my downline as well and have up and coming leaders get on team calls with me and also share what's working for them in our team page. And sometimes I just reach out to people in our downline and I just say how proud I am of them and how grateful I am that they're on the team, because we are in a people-oriented business. And like I said, that mantra, everyone matters. I want everyone on my team to feel a part of like this community, this little family that we have created. So that's been working really well for me and my team. The third thing that I do is I run monthly glance groups, monthly emerald groups, we run a shine on to diamond group. And what I suggest here is to ask leaders or up and coming leaders on your team to make videos, share tips, co-run those with you. I really think that it shows that you believe in your downline, your coaches, wherever they're at in their coaching journey. And it allows them to step up as a leader and, feel like they're really contributing. And then they transition into that role a lot quicker as well. And the fourth thing that I do that I love is we do a team-wide volume training. And this is huge, y'all. We go over how to build team volume, how we work as a team, how to build as a team, how to cycle placement. We go over the whole 9 yards. And that naturally turns into rank and leadership on the team. It's very thorough. We dive into a lot of good information. And I would say that training is the best training that we've done to date as far as whole team-wide growth. I think when we started, I had 8 coaches cycling, and now I have 15 or 16, which is awesome to see. And on that cycling, in my PS team page, I give weekly or bi-weekly cycle shout-outs. So what I do is I total up the total amount that my team cycled. And for example, maybe it's like 15 coaches who earn $3,500. I'll make a cute little picture and share that in my PS team page. And what I did when we started this was I set an end of the year total cycle amount goal for our team. And so each month we're getting closer and closer to that goal, and it's only August. So seeing that growth is really inspiring and motivating, and I feel like it keeps the wheels turning and keeps us moving forward. The fifth thing that I do is I do one-on-one monthly calls with my downline, with my PS coaches. I basically have them fill out a document with what they want to go over, what they're working on, any challenges, anything, just so I'm prepared when we talk. The sixth thing that I do, which is really fun, is I do a leadership spotlight week in my team page. And what that means is I identify leaders in the downline and then have that person be our host for the week. They'll do one post Monday through Friday, and we basically have this running through November. So one coach each week through November. And to give you an example of what they do, on Monday, they'll share their why video and their story with everyone. Tuesday, one of their biggest mistakes they made as a coach, whether it was recently or early on, and how they turned that around for the better. Wednesday is the top 3 tips for new coaches. Thursday, their method for hitting Success Club each month. And then Friday, it's their choice, so they can choose anything that adds value to our team, personal development, tips, tricks, anything like that. And, I'm learning a ton from that. So it's really been fun to have our team participating in that each week. Something else that I do, number 7, I'm sure a lot of you guys do this, is I recognize rank advancements weekly, and then also team builders and team leaders monthly. And I'm sure, like my team, you guys have a lot of people who love recognition. So this is something that I don't skip out on, and I kind of blow up, because some of those coaches that really strive on that, they love it. And what I also do with that is if I have a new coach or someone who's just killing it, I might give them like a little shout out in our team page. It just creates that ripple effect for our team to get excited and keep recognizing each other and hitting our goals. The 8th thing that I do is, is weekly volume drawings for coaches in my downline with 250 plus PV or above, as well as I do weekly Success Club and weekly volume shout outs in my team page. I even hosted my own team cup, which was really fun, and my team loved it. We paired up 3 people on each team, and they couldn't be on the same team as they were for the Beachbody Team Cup. So that was a lot of fun, and it kept that momentum and that drive going after the big team cup. Number 9, I get personal. I really share my mistakes, my failures, and most importantly, how I overcame them. I think that this is a step for me that is key for growth, because it builds trust and it builds relationships in my team. And they see, even new coaches who come on now, I've been doing this for almost 2 years in December. They might look at, a coach who's been doing it for a while and not think that they can get to where they're at. So I really try and hone in on, some of my failures as a new coach, some of the things I went through. And I think that really helps for our whole team growth. And then number 10, a handful of my coaches live in Virginia. So anytime I'm home, I meet up with them face to face. And the cool thing is because I started doing this, they now meet weekly face to face with each other. So we really have the power to create a ripple effect within our team. And then lastly, I do a social Sunday every Sunday in my team page. And this just creates fun. It creates us to get to know each other on a personal level. And so it's really fun to see pictures of dogs and families and vacations and things like that. So I hope y'all took away something from those 10 tips, and that's just what I consider for you guys.
Thank you so much. Hey, Carly, before you go and before Nikki starts, Ruth Schroner had a question for you in regards to your volume training. She wanted to know if it was available on YouTube.
We have a template. We did it through Google, and what we did is I can share the template, and that has all the video recordings of what we did. And then we have a document, because what we did was on Tuesdays we'd have one coach speak for 15 minutes live. Thursdays, an hour Q&A in our team page. We compiled all the Q&As into documents for each week, so it's organized. I can share that with you guys.
You're awesome. Great ideas. Thank you so much, Carly. Nikki, take it away.
Okay, am I unmuted? Okay, cool. So the cool thing, Carly and I found out we're both from Northern Virginia, and we're both really big Redskins fans. So go Redskins.
We won't hold that against you guys.
Good luck with that.
So creating diamonds. So before I start, I'm not like super organized. I'm not that great at systems. So when I get asked, like, how do I create all these diamonds in my team? I was like, I don't know. So I decided to do some digging into this thing that I have going on with my team. And the number one thing that I can boil it down to, I'm going to give you guys some steps, but the number one thing is that it really is a mindset on our team, and it's kind of a culture. So I find that one of the things that holds people back the most from hitting diamond is that they think it's hard. So on our team, diamond is easy. We make it easy. We talk about it a lot, and we set realistic goals to hit diamond. We don't ever set a goal for Ruby. So we skip Ruby. When I get on my GSR call with a coach, we talk about goals. And obviously the number one goal is they want to hit Success Club every month, especially if they want to build this business. And the second goal is to hit Emerald. I don't really go into Diamond on a GSR unless they're a really gung-ho coach and they've really done their research and they start talking about ranks. Then I will talk about Diamond. But from the beginning, it's Success Club and Emerald. And once they start feeling confident in that Success Club goal, then you'll notice that they are more confident in building their business. So the third thing that I do when I'm looking for people who are pushing to diamond is I always want to ask people if they're ready to push for diamond, because I learned the hard way in the beginning of my business when I was pushing for 1-star. I'm a Ruby Sapphire, if you guys study the gems. And I really wanted to go to the 1-star party at Summit. Like, that was my big goal. I wanted to get there. So I pushed a girl on my team. I pushed her and I pushed her. I was like, you're so close. You're so close. Let's do this. Let's do this. And she pushed back on me. And we kind of like had a tiff. We knew each other from, before Beachbody. And she was like, I do not want this like you want this. And it was kind of a wake up call to me to be like, I cannot push my goals on other people. And I really need to figure out this personality thing, because we're obviously dealing with different personalities. And that has been a huge factor in how I motivate my coaches and pushing them to diamond, is if they want to push or not, because you cannot push people that don't want to be pushed. And I know it's hard in this business because so many of our goals are based on other people. And so that's why I always, like to steal the term from Kim Carver. He says, control the controllable. As a Ruby, that's been really hard for me to grasp, but I'm getting better at it. And personal development always helps me with that too. So what I do is I look in my downline, or, if you're really pushing for elite, I would probably stick to your personally sponsored coaches, because those are the people you want to work with the closest. So if you don't have a personally sponsored Facebook group, I would strongly urge you to create one. That's also another way that I have been able to raise my Success Club qualifier base, is by talking only in my PS group. If your team page starts get really big, things start getting lost, and it's just a way to concentrate. What do I post in my PS group? I just post, like, I'll do their own leaderboard. So like every week when I do the big leaderboard for all of the team, I create one just for my PS PS coaches, so that, and we have our own goal. So I'll say, if we get this many Success Club points, I'm going to donate, X amount of money to this. I like to use World Vision. We'll like donate water to a child in Africa. And so we have a team goal. And so in that page, I'm only talking to them about that goal. I'm not mentioning it on my other team page, only PS. So in my PS group, I will ask people who wants to push for Diamond. I don't have a rhyme or a rhythm. It's not monthly. And my groups aren't scripted. It's just kind of like if there's a goal coming up. So for example, the 10-star goal, for my 10-star goal is tomorrow. So about 6 weeks ago, I looked at my downline and I was like, okay, I have 6 diamonds on my left and I have 4 diamonds on my right. So I cannot even hit 10-star until I get more diamonds on my right. For some reason, I have more pushers on my left. I don't even have like a strong or weak leg. It just happened that way. So I looked to my right downline. I'm like, who's consistently hitting Success Club? Who is at least an emerald? Who do I think wants it? And so I looked in my downline and I kind of had an idea of who I thought could push. And then, of course, I asked in that page, and I knew that they were going to jump because they were pretty consistent in Success Club and they want to move their business forward. So in my mind, I know that they want it. And realistically, they'll probably hit it. So I reach out to those people and I talk to them about a goal date. So I say, do you have a goal date in mind for Diamond? And most likely they're going to say no. They probably are like, oh, like, yeah, in 2 months. And you're like, no. Okay. So then you give them a date and you say, I think you can hit Diamond by this date. And what that's going to do for them is going to give them confidence. And they're probably going to be a little bit scared. But if you believe in them and you show them that you're going to give them the tools to get there, then it's more likely that it's going to happen. So I put all those people into a push group. The only thing that I say is that they have to be an emerald and they have to be willing to like put in the work. I don't do daily assignments because I think that those get really overwhelming and people get, with their jobs, they get overwhelmed and they get behind on the homework, and then it just creates this kind of like, momentum lost. So they have to check in every week. So usually on Thursdays I have them, they're tracking their business. They're doing the business activity tracker or some kind of proof, if you will, that they're doing it. So a lot of them will screenshot their invite list and they'll say, I reached out to 20 people this week. This is what happened. And I'm really big on following up with people, even if they're not answering you. So I like preach that to my team. I'm like, okay, they're ignoring you, that they're not saying no. So just keep reaching out, because it's all about really for them getting over that like they need the confidence to invite. So what I'm posting in that group is I'm scouring YouTube. I'm looking for other leaders, because sometimes it takes someone other than you telling them what to do. They're tired of you telling them what to do, and it takes someone else saying it the same exact thing, but then they're like, oh my gosh, yes. That always happens, right? You're like, I've told you that 100 times. So I go on YouTube and I look for like recruiting videos from coaches, how to recruit, how to invite, just things that I think are going to help them create, get to Diamond. And really it is all about the invite. And so if you're telling them to do the personal development and they're plugging into that group and they're doing their invites, it's kind of a natural progression for them to build their business. I also go over with them checking their drill down. And making sure that they're placing in the right spots, because you don't want to get somebody who has like 5 coaches on one leg and like 3 on the other, when really you need 4 and 4. And also with that is kind of grooming them into become strong diamonds. So I really pride myself on having really strong diamonds. I don't really check my downline that much. I maybe have like one that comes and goes, but we have that. I know that about her. It's not like I'm checking and I'm like, oh my God, you're dropping. So if I get them in the habit of checking their drill down now, then I don't necessarily have to worry about doing it for them once they hit Diamond. And so we're really talking about what's beyond Diamond and how that's a stepping stone in this business. And you're not going to get to Diamond and be like, oh yes, I'm Diamond. I did it. It's just it's a stepping stone. So in that group, and I wish I had a script to give you to show you what, it's really just random. It's really what I think they need. And I'm not even necessarily meeting with them weekly on Zooms. I'm kind of just checking in with them, especially as the date gets closer, and seeing what I can do for them. And do not be afraid to reach down into to their coaches, because a lot of times, sometimes you don't know what kind of the conversations are going on. And I remember when I was pushing for Elite last year, I had a coach, she was like, oh, so-and-so is so close to Emerald. She is going to get Emerald. And that would have made her Diamond. Well, like a week went by and then another week went by and I was like, I thought she was so close to Emerald. What's going on? So I reached out to her and she had no idea that she could sign people up just for the discount. She didn't think there was any benefit. And I was like, oh my gosh, sign people up for the discount. And literally that week she went Emerald and then my girl went Diamond. And so don't be afraid to reach down into the downline and help those people. I know Carly mentioned that too. Another thing that I do in that group is I create visuals for them. So a lot of times people do not realize how close they are to Diamond and they just need someone, to tell them how close they are, but they need to see it. So what I do is I go into PicMonkey and I just like create a little graphic with their name on it. And then it has like it has circles, like it looks like this, but it's prettier. And then if they have like a coach, like I have a check marks, like what they need. And so I have a photo album in the group and every time they add a coach, I update their picture and then I bump it to the top of the group and I'm like, great job, Shelly. You just need 2 more coaches for Diamond. And then it kind of creates a buzz around that picture. And the other girls are like, oh, good job. You're almost there. And then it just kind of gets them excited and seeing that they're that much closer to their goal. Also, what's cool about groups like this is like you start to see the success partners form in these groups. They're all working towards the same goal and they really get close with one another because they're all kind of on the same track. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, Success Partners has been a total game changer in my business. I'm like 100% certain that I would not be where I am if it weren't for my Success Partners. And so to see when you create these little push groups, to see those naturally occur is like, I'm like, yes. Because it takes a lot of stress off of you. They're not coming to you with their like problems or when they're frustrated, they're going to their success partners. And then it's also going to keep them invested in the team and they're much less likely to give up. So my last push group that I had, all of those girls went Diamond. So I kind of like left the group and I was like, you guys can stay in here and do your own thing and brainstorm and everything. And also, with the group, when we talk about the stepping stone, that Diamond is just a stepping stone, we always encourage padding. So making sure that you're like a strong Diamond and you're not just building your foundation on discount coaches, because we want a strong foundation to grow into a strong business. So that's pretty much what I do to create my diamonds. And like I said, I think the biggest things are the visualization. I'm a big visual person even with my goals, and I teach my team that. And then also the mindset and how it's expected. If you want to build this business, you are expected to hit diamond, and it's easy. So I see some questions. Okay.
I think Marissa Myers had a question. You answered a lot of them, but I think that this is one that wasn't answered, and that's, do you add new people to the group as people join your team? And if so, how?
No, I kind of work in like waves. So I feel like some people, though, obviously I've been a coach for almost 2 years. And so I have some people that have been in almost like all my push groups. So if they want to be in the next one, I put them in there. But the groups kind of, and also I do other groups as well. Like I'm doing a group with my success partners right now, in addition to my like PS group. That's more of a like every single day assignments. This is going to help you rank advanced no matter what you're trying to rank advanced to. And with that group, they went in with the expectation of there's going to be a call to action every single day. But I'm not really like, I'm not a babysitter. I'm very like kind of hands off, where I'm just like, I'm not going to be checking like on a spreadsheet if you did all the assignments. Like that's not my job. That's your job. If you want this, then you can do it. So, but it's just organic for me. I just kind of am like, oh, who wants to build? Let's do it. And then I push with them. So
absolutely their goal. I like that. And then last question from Natalie Bailey. How do you get your new coaches started right other than a GSR call? Do you have any other tips?
Oh yeah, so I have a welcome email that I send them, and in that welcome email I have like a first week document, and it's kind of basically just going over. I probably need to update it because things keep changing in the back office, but like the training in the back office, it kind of goes through that like day by day. It's kind of like day 1, do this, day 2, do this. And then it's all self-paced. So I say, if you can't do it every single day, I mean, I know like some of those videos back there are 2 hours long. I mean, I personally don't have 2 hours to sit and watch a video, especially with children. So I just say, take it at your own pace. And then from that document, I have a link into our team training. And my team training is all self-paced. It's in a Facebook group and it's in the file section. And each day is a file and all they have to do is tag me in it when they're done. And so I just found that the self-pace is better for people because the go-getters can go ahead and just plow through it. And then the people who need more time can take their time. And also it was helping me because I was signing up coaches in different times of the month. And I was just like, oh, I just started my coach camp or whatever you want to call it. And, 2 weeks later I sign up a coach. I don't want that coach to have to wait 3 weeks for any training. And it's just, and also you can see who wants it. The people who are flying through that training, those are the people you want to work with. So that's what I do.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nikki and Carly.
I can't mute it.
Why are we echoing?
There we go.
We got this is the weirdest thing. We've got one computer that works with video, one computer that wants to go crazy with audio. So yeah, we're high tech here at Beachbody. High tech, almost as high tech as Nikki and her hand drawn circles on the page. I hope everyone got that. If there was one thing I took away, it was that, Nikki. So thank you for improvising. Sometimes you just need, a napkin to give a solid training. So great job to you. We're going to move ahead then. We are excited to have Jeff Hill with us, our Executive Vice President of Network Sales. Jeff, go ahead and take us home with this thing. Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? I'm getting thumbs up from somebody. I'm not hearing from Craig, which is probably a good thing. Okay, he wants to be a rock star. He's got that reverberation going and everything else. And just so you know, Nikki, I got these right here. I'm going to refer to these. And so I think that your artwork is absolutely phenomenal. So anyway, I appreciate this opportunity just to take a minute or two and maybe give some closing thoughts, if you will. And I asked Keyshawn, asked Craig, I said, what do you want me to, what do you want me to deliver? What do you want me to, to share? And they said, well, you kind of take the horse to the barn, if you will, kind of close this thing out. And which is always a tough thing. I always get these strange emotions when I get on these calls and I start to see people. And so I've got 4 or 5 faces that I can see. I wish I didn't see Craig's face right now, but the other faces are really great to look at. But when I see the faces, it's really sobering for me. And it's sobering for me because it makes me realize that as a company, what a huge responsibility we have. To make right decisions, to do the right things, that people are placing their hopes and their dreams and their confidence in the decisions that we make, so that when you go all in, and I see you in your homes there, and I realize you've got families and a home and obligations and those kinds of things that you're hoping that somehow, some way, you can change your life in a significant way to create more freedom, to improve relationships, to change other people's lives, and do all those kinds of things. So I guess what I'm really just trying to say here, one, I want to say thank you for doing what you do. Two, I personally, and I know Carl feels this way, just before I jumped on this call, every Wednesday morning I have a phone call with Carl, and we go through, whatever we go through. And, just talking about the business and what we need to do to improve. But it's always interesting with Carl. One of the things that I am so impressed with him is the fact that you guys get a sense of Carl when you see him at Summit, when you hear him on calls. Carl is as focused an individual as I know. He is Tony refers to him as Johnny Focus in one of the original, I think, P90Xs. And he is. But one of the things that he's intently focused on, deliberately and passionately focused on, is the mission of this company. And this morning we were talking about leadership and where we are in the business and what people are focusing on and what we as a company need to just passionately hang on to. And it was this. Nikki. There was almost as artfully drawn as yours, but not quite. But it was this idea that our mission is to help people achieve their goals, to live healthy, to achieve their goals, and to live healthy, fulfilling lives. And that's how the company started, and that's how the company has continued to be vibrant. And there's kind of this magical thing that happens. And the reason I drew this is actually I drew this yesterday in another conversation. But where this company works, and I'm going to jump into some other things, but where the company works, where leaders stay engaged, where people keep relevant and keep contributing, is when these circles kind of this mission overlaps. And you probably can't see this, but it says you, Beachbody, and them. And to the degree that your mission, the company's mission, and the mission or the desires, the things that other people want continue to overlap and they continue to touch with each other, there's this little piece in here that intersects that it creates the passion and the fire and the sense of contribution and reward in this business. And Carl and I were talking this morning about what we have to do as a company is that we have to keep in front of people, front and center and always, that we are a company about helping people and to help people live healthy, fulfilling lives, and helping our people help other people achieve that. When this happens, wait, there's more art. When this happens, when people start to drift apart from who we are, when the circles start overlapping, when all we start focusing on is money and our own goal, without focusing on helping other people live healthy and fulfilling lives, you lose relevance, you lose credibility, you lose passion, and it starts to go away. So the reason I share this with you is I want you to know, from a company perspective, we have this tremendous desire to keep our people close to us, keep them helping other people. And I appreciate what Carly and Nikki did this morning, was they talked about skill sets and abilities that help you help other people. And the great part about that is as you do that, there's the law of contribution in helping other people. There's a law of return as well. It's the other end of the stick. When you pick up a stick, you always pick up two ends. When you contribute, the other end of that stick is there's usually a return, in a good way. When you stop contributing, the return stops. Now I'm going a direction that I don't want to go, but I just want to say thank you for what you do. As I was listening to Nikki and Carly talking, as I've looked at other coaches, I always try and look at success and go, what are those common ingredients to success? Because success isn't easy, right? It's really not, and that's why you're on this call. But the cool thing about success is that we can make it more achievable. Okay, because most programs that are created, and what Nikki and Carly talked about today, are some ideas and some things, best practices they use. Most programs will work if people use them. Okay, the challenge is that most people rarely continue and consistently use them. And as I'm reading this, I'm reading this book called Change Anything. And it's just about changing habits and this new science of personal success. And it's talking about, it just talks about the concept of how do you create success in your life? How do you change habits in your life? And I usually find I get bored with books pretty fast. I kind of go through and I kind of see what I like, and then I discard them and kind of pick the points out of them. And I've done that a bit with this. But it's interesting is they point to people that have been successful. There's a couple things that happen that you discover about them is number one, they stumbled as much as they succeeded. Okay. They stumbled as much as they succeeded. And secondly, their change plan was homegrown. Okay. Meaning that when they really found their sweet spot in their business, as you look at Nikki, and Nikki said, I'm not a very organized person. I don't do this well, and I don't do this well. Well, we all come with our own strengths. We all come with our own weaknesses. And that's why, as you look at these systems and these plans, you do have to make it homegrown. You do have to make it yours. Now, that doesn't mean you have to recreate the wheel, but you have to take the strengths that are uniquely yours. I personally believe that there's a divine DNA in all of us with certain gifts. And part of our purpose on this good old life is to figure out what those strengths are and how to maximize those. And part of the purpose behind that is to use them in helping other people, help ourselves become better people, and helping us as we get better, help other people. But we've got to make this plan, this change plan, homegrown. And as people build their business, the successful coaches have figured out how to leverage their strengths and how to make it homegrown so that it becomes uniquely them. And the reality is that nobody got it right the first time, but they would take 2 steps forward, a step back. But they had a skillful way of learning from their setbacks so that their plan evolved in a deliberate direction. Okay, let me just kind of say that again, if I can say it the same way, is they had a skillful way of learning from their setbacks so that their plan, their homegrown plan, evolved in a deliberate direction, that they knew that they were moving forward. And so they snipped a little bit from Carly, they snipped a little bit from Nikki, they got a little bit from Keyshawn and from Craig and from other successful coaches, and they put those pieces together so they didn't have to develop a brand new wheel. But then they observed and they learned and they tried again and again, day by day, week by week. And I've shared this when I was in Cancun. I sat back, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself for something you've heard, but I sat back and I was doing an Elite 10 panel, and I was watching these guys, and I was just, I was asking questions, but I really wasn't paying attention because I was kind of thinking about, what do these people have in common? What's happened here? Because we talk about this consistency in the business. And as I was looking at it, I thought, consistency is one of those buzzwords, being persistent, and consistent. But what's the layer below that? What have these 10 coaches done to create more success in their business than other coaches? And on the top level, they say, well, we're consistent, we keep doing those things. But as I was reading this book, I realized, I think there's a little bit more to that. And this book talks about that you have to be the scientist and the subject. And here's what those coaches, and I think successful coaches, do, is that they get very, and if I'm repeating myself, I apologize, but they one of the things that they do is they turn bad days into good data. Okay, they turn bad days into good data, and what that means is that they will put themselves in the game. They will put together their challenge groups. They'll put together their sneak peek opportunity meetings. They will put together these pieces, and then they will apply and they will work it, and they will work it. And then when it doesn't work out, there's 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, right? There's a choice there. Some coaches choose to get discouraged, disillusioned, disappointed in what happens because it didn't work out. And then their thought is, the business doesn't work. I can't do this, okay? That's a decision point. That's a moment of truth in your business, okay? That is a critical or a crucial moment. In this book, they refer to those are crucial moments. And what you have to do then is engage in critical behaviors to switch that. And the successful coaches, what they do is they will take that moment, and instead of getting discouraged, disillusioned, disappointed, is they will get curious. Okay, they will turn the negative into a positive, and they will get curious about what worked and about what wouldn't work. And they'll be deliberate about that, and they'll be thoughtful about that, and they'll think about it. And then what they'll do is they'll say, okay, this worked, this didn't work. How do I change this? Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to, rinse and repeat. I'm going to figure this thing out, and I'm going to do it again. And they will engage in that continued process of being curious, of turning bad days into good data, okay, being curious, rinsing and repeating, until they get a system that becomes homegrown and unique to them. And so they're stumbling forward, not downward, into their business. And I think that's such a key element as you look at where you are in your business. That if your goal is elite, for example, if that's the benchmark, and I understand that most people on this call, they're on the road to elite. That's a goal that you've set. Every one of you have stumbled somewhere. But my challenge to you is that you get really curious about what's working and not working, and then you continue to try, because that's what the consistency is really represents. There's a great story that I love that kind of makes this point. There was a race that's called the 1979 Fastnet race. There's a race that goes from the bottom of England. It goes over to what's called the Fastnet Rock. I can't remember. It's like about 1,000. I don't know exactly how far it is, but it goes up to this rock called the Fastnet Rock in Ireland, and it's a yachting race. And it happens every 2 years, and it's for yachts that are less than like 100 feet. In 1979, there were 303 yachts that were participating. They came from all over the world to participate in this race. And as the communication back then wasn't great. They didn't have all the GPS. They didn't have all the weather communication things that they have now. Well, this race started, and lo and behold, what they didn't know, that there was a storm that was brewing. This huge storm, and it actually started in the States, that as the story would happen, and it took its first fatality as this wind and this tornado started developing. It took off the top of a toll booth in New York, and a person was killed, and this thing started to sweep across the Atlantic Ocean in the middle of this race. Well, there was no way to inform all of these people of what was happening, and these winds that became what they called Force 10 winds. If you look at Force 10, what that means is about 70, I think they go from like 60 to 80 miles an hour on this water. And it just so happened that where this wind and this storm where this thing hit was off these shoals, where you guys know what happens when water hits like shallow water. That's where you get the big waves. That's where you get the big surf. Well, these winds happened to hit the majority of these ships at the same time as it hit these shoals, and they had waves literally that were 10 stories high. Okay, and if you could just imagine sitting down in the bottom of a trough, looking up 10 stories high at a wave that's going to come over you. Well, the result of this is that there was literally, I think there were 5 ships, 5 of these yachts that were sunk. There was a third of them that were flipped over, that were just, kind of laid flat like that. There was another third that literally turtled, which means they were flipped upside down, masts and everything, flipped upside down. And there were 5 people, there were 18 people, I think, killed in all, a number of sailors and a number of rescue people. It was one of the greatest sea rescues at that time outside of a war. It was this horrific type of a thing. But there's another part to the story where I want to make the point is one of the ships that was racing was a ship that ironically was called the Tenacious. It was owned by Ted Turner, who is the owner of CNN. And this boat, the Tenacious, happened to continue to race and ended up winning this whole thing in spite of what was going on. They talked to the skipper at the end of the race, and they said, when all this other stuff was happening, how could you possibly finish, let alone win this race, but finish the race, but win this race? And here's what he said. This is such a great story. He just said, while others were just trying to this, and it shouldn't be construed as cold, but while others were just trying to survive, we never stopped racing. While others were trying to survive, we never stopped racing. And that hit me, because I thought, as you look at the parallels between this business, there's lots of times where every one of us are going to have headwinds. Every one of us are going to get rolled flat, okay, sometimes. Every one of us are going to get turned upside down. Our spouse isn't going to be supportive. That person that we thought was going to be our diamond coach, our superstar, is going to go away. The company is going to change something that didn't work out. That challenge pack didn't happen, or whatever. They took the 21-day fixed challenge pack off the market for a week. Kind of all sorts of horrible stuff like that's going to happen in your business. But the question is, do you keep racing? And do you keep focusing on the fundamentals of the business? And the fundamentals of the business really are the 3 vital behaviors. And what you have to keep doing in this business it really is simple, okay, is that you do have to keep recruiting and bringing people, sponsoring people in this business. You have to keep working on yourself, and you have to keep developing other leaders underneath you. And the minute that you stray from that, you've stopped racing, in your business. You've stopped being consistent in your business. So wrapping up, here's what I know is that as a company, we have a vision and a goal of being the most well-respected and trusted fitness company in the entire world. And I believe that we are uniquely positioned to take that role and to own it. We have chosen, we have very consciously chosen our channel, our method of becoming that company through people like you. People that will share your own journeys and work with other people and help other people. We think that's the most powerful way to do this, the power of story. And we try and reward that as best we can. And we will continue to grow. We will continue to impact lives, and people's lives will continue to change. And the question is will you be journeying with us? Okay. Will you choose to hang in there and continue to execute on those fundamentals that Carly and Nikki have talked about, when the winds blow and everything else? Because honestly, that's where it comes. We did one more little piece, then I'll be quiet. But so I am so out of shape right now. Like before Summit, I felt like I've been doing max 30, and was working, and I felt like by the time I got to the end of max 30, I thought, okay, I'm in pretty good shape before Summit. And then Summit hit, and Summit is like, it's like getting rolled over, like getting turtled, right? The first 10 wins. It just and recovering's been hard. So this week I said, okay, I'm going to start again. And I've got one of my daughters here, and we have a young French girl, a 16-year-old girl that was wanted to come over and work out with us. So I made my mind up on Monday, I'm going to start working out again. And Monday was horrible. It was so miserable. And yesterday was not much better. It was like you couldn't do anything. And Iris, this French girl, said to me, says, I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow because I'm so tired. And I did so poorly yesterday. And I looked her in the eye and I just said, look, Iris, here's what happens. Typically after those bad days, it starts to come. And all of a sudden there's that success that comes. And I promise you that you will feel better today because of what you've done these last 2 days. And sure enough, I drug her out of bed, got Lauren out of bed, and we came over and we did Tabata Power today, and it still kicked my butt. But there was that one moment in there where I started to go, I was better than yesterday. I could feel the strength starting to come back, and it was clicking and working. So that's like your business. You're going to have a step or two backwards, and then all of a sudden it's going to click, and you're going to find that person, and you're going to get better, and you're going to find that your ability to present, your ability to inspire, your ability to communicate is going to get stronger, and is going to get better. And the people that stay in that are the people that are going to be walking across stage as an elite 10, that are going on these trips. And even if it's not that are creating financial stability and viability in their lives. And that's what you're after. So Keyshawn, I took way too much time. We're done. But you guys can do this. You guys can do this. And there is room for everybody. So Craig, thank you. And I'll be quiet now.
Oh, my gosh. There we go. Mic drop, Jeff Hill. Thank you so much for those powerful words. Thank you, Nikki Johnson. Thank you, Carly Wood. This was a great call. Guys, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your leadership. Like Jeff said, be curious, stay curious, be tenacious. This call will be recorded and posted later in the Southeast region page for you to disseminate to your teams. Go out there and keep it up, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.